Looking at the GWM Ora evokes a lot of different thoughts in terms of how it looks. But obviously take some inspiration from other vehicles. I'm thinking the likes of the Fiat 500, definitely the Mini Cooper. But it also manages to be quite unique, and it also elicits quite a few reactions from people who think to themselves, what on earth is that? I think particularly that they've never seen this badge, or it's obviously not as popular because the car was launched in November of last year. So they always want to know what it is, and I think that's one of the questions that I've gotten a lot during the time with this car is, what on earth is this? In terms of styling, the Super Luxury has a couple of nice features, which I like. So you obviously got these LED daytime driving lights, which also are the indicators coming around to the side of the car. As is quite common on modern cars these days, the rear windows have a privacy tint on them, which I think is great because, you know, you do want the privacy. You want to maybe store something in the back seat if you filled up in the boot. It's got this unique rear light, which I really love. It gives the impression that there are no lights at the back, but that's the main focus. And at the bottom, it's got a fake diffuser that's built in with a rear fog light. Obviously, you've got your park distance control and then the big lengthy rear view camera. If you like the exterior of the GWM Ora, which by the way was designed by former Porsche designer Emmanuel Derter, you will like the interior even more. It's got this cool dual tone interior option, almost like an oxblood, well, not as deep as an oxblood red, and these interesting soft seats which are pseudo leather. The seats fitted in the GWM Ora are quite interesting, super soft and comfortable, but that's only for short journeys. I feel like the lack of lumbar support will then really make long journeys not that great. One of the criticisms about the infotainment system is that it's linked to the climate control. So in order to change the temperature, I have to go into that mode, high, low, whatever the case is, and then also change the speed of the fan. There is an on and off button, but I can't change the temperature on those lovely looking mini inspired dials, by the way. That's the one issue that I do have. It's also difficult for me as the driver to have to switch my left hand around and press these small buttons on the touch screen. This little city car is festooned with cameras. There are 4 in total, 1 in front, 1 at the back, and 1 each under the mirrors to give you a 360 view, so you never have to knock into anything. GWM claims the Ora Super Luxury has a electric range of 320 k's. You can also charge the Ora 300 via a DC charger, and the Chinese car company says it will reach 10% to 80% in 41 minutes if you're using an 80 kilowatt DC charger. But use an electric car like your cell phone and charge it overnight, or when you're not using it, if you are at work or having a nap on a Saturday afternoon, and you'll have more than enough range to get to and from work and even go and visit the family. In terms of the fit and finish of this car, I must admit, it's really well put together. Everything feels solid. Yeah, it's got the haptic buttons, which aren't a favorite with people at the moment. In fact, VW are actually changing their haptic buttons to normal conventional buttons. The GWM Ora 300 Super Luxury is actually quite supple on the road. It feels really comfortable. The suspension is well damped. One of the drawbacks about the GWM Ora is that the steering is quite light, so it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence when turning into a corner, but you do get a lot of traction from the chassis and the wheels. The tires are in fact quite impressive. I didn't think that Chinese electric car would be fitted with decent rubber, but that's the case. Again, you're not gonna feel as if you're getting a lot of feedback from the steering, but it's not a major train smash. And in the city where one would be driving this car most of the time, that really doesn't come into play. I've left the Ora in auto mode, and that's where the computer works out what best throttle application I need for the conditions at the time, and this thing just accelerates so quickly without much fuss and obviously without much noise, which is quite cool. The GWM Ora 300 Super Luxury retails for 686,950 Rand, and you get a city car that doesn't use fuel, that's comfortable, that's got enough pace, and that looks really quirky. If you want something that's going to make you stand out, look no further than the GWM Ora 300 Super Luxury.